In a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and whispering woods lived an old man named Raghav. His house was a modest one. Wooden walls that creaked in the wind, a small garden filled with blooming marigolds, and a well-worn bench under a banyan tree where he spent his evenings watching the sunset. To the villagers, Raghav was wise and calm, always offering a kind smile and a listening ear. But very few knew the story behind his resilience, the storms he weathered and the pain he bore in silence. Decades ago, Raghav was a young man with dreams as wide as the sky. He was a talented carpenter, crafting furniture that told stories in every grain. He had a loving wife, Mira, and a son named Ariv. Their days were filled with laughter, homemade meals, and quiet nights under a starlit sky. Life to Raghav was perfect, but life, as it often does, changed in an instant. One monsoon evening, as the rain lashed against the windows and thunder cracked like the sky was tearing apart, Raghav's world crumbled. A landslide, sudden and brutal, swept through their village. In the chaos, Mira and Ariv were lost. Raghav survived, but the silence that followed was deafening. He was found days later, injured and dazed, staring at the ruins of his home. His hands trembled not from pain, but from loss. The villagers, grief-stricken themselves, tried to console him, but there are some wounds too deep for words to touch. Raghav stopped speaking. He stopped working. The once joyful man became a shadow. People brought him food, helped rebuild his home, but inside, he was empty. Many believed he'd never return to the man he was. But one evening, as he sat under the banyan tree, a little girl approached him. Her name was Lila. She had lost her father in the same landslide and had been struggling to find comfort. She sat next to Raghav silently, her tiny hand resting on his. No words passed between them that day, but something shifted. Day after day, Lila would return. Sometimes she brought flowers, sometimes drawings, sometimes nothing but her presence. Slowly, Raghav began to speak again. First a few words, then stories. Then laughter returned, fragile at first, but real. He began carving again, too. Not for money, but for healing. He made a wooden swing for Lila, a bench for the school, toys for children who had lost everything. With each carving, he stitched pieces of his soul back together. Over the years, Raghav became more than just a village carpenter. He became a symbol of strength. People came to him not just for furniture, but for wisdom. He never preached. He only listened, and when he spoke, his words carried weight. When a young man lost his job, Raghav told him, "Sometimes we fall not to break, but to see the world from a different view. From the ground, you'll learn how to rise." When a woman feared being alone, he said, "Loneliness isn't the absence of people. It's the absence of connection. Start with one soul. The rest will follow." And when Lila, now grown and ready to leave for college, hugged him goodbye, he whispered, "Thank you for reminding me that hope often comes with small footsteps and silent hands." Raghav's story isn't just about loss. It's about the courage to live again when everything inside you wants to give up. It's about how healing doesn't come all at once, but in moments, a child's smile, a shared silence, a return to something you love. Adversity doesn't discriminate. It knocks on every door, sometimes uninvited, sometimes expected. But resilience isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about acknowledging the pain, sitting with it, and then deciding one day at a time to keep going. Hope, as Raghav showed, often begins in the darkest places. And resilience isn't the absence of tears. It's the strength to dry them and move forward anyway. So, if you find yourself in a storm, remember this. Storms will pass. The sun will return. And even if your world changes, you can rebuild. Maybe not the same life, but a life still filled with meaning, with connection, with beauty. Because like Raghav, you too carry within you the quiet power to endure, to heal, and to rise.